guys, welcome back to Real Estate War Stories. I'm your host Felicia, aka your favorite home agent, and I have a special guest with me today, Brian. Brian, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me.
If you want to go ahead and introduce yourself, where do you work, how long you've been in the business, what do you even do? You got so much stuff going on. Like, what do you do?
Well, so right now, hello, I'm Brian Kataya, and I'm in insurance.
Okay.
So I have an insurance brokerage, and that is my primary focus. So when I'm not busy building that up, I spend the rest of the time with my 4 boys.
They're so cute. I see you have them cooking in the kitchen.
They do. Yeah, I'm starting them young,
I love that. So the story that you're going to share today, is it insurance related? Is it in real estate? Maybe you want to tap into that a little bit?
So it's in real estate.
Okay.
So I was only in real estate for 2 years. When I was 18, got my license, and I'm like, well, I'm going to go get into real estate. Let's do this. And I had fun. I had a great time. I had 2 solid years, and then the market crashed. It was 2008, 2009, and nothing happened. So that's when I left the industry. I'm enjoying insurance. I'm having a blast with it, and I don't really particularly miss real estate, but I did have a good time. I had fun, and I definitely have some stories.
Okay, so I'm ready to hear. What is your real estate war story?
Okay, there's a bunch, but this is the one that bothers me to this day, right? So I had this client, and she, really nice woman. She wanted to buy a house. She had a house ready. She wanted to look at an investment property, and I spent about maybe 6 months working with her. And this was in Queens.
She was a buyer.
She was a buyer.
Okay.
Yes, she was a buyer. And she didn't drive. So I would pick her up. I would actually pick her up, right, for every showing. Yeah, because I was young, I was hungry. I wanted to, I wanted to make some money. So I went the extra mile for everyone that, I took to see properties, or if I had a listing, I did whatever I had to do. So I spent maybe 6 months with her, and I would pick her up every week, every Saturday. I'd pick her up like 9 in the morning, and all these properties scheduled. I'd pick up all the keys and everything, and I'd go show it to her. And then, we went to one, and it was an open house, and the other agent was there. Whatever happened, she started ghosting me. I was like, that's weird. So turns out she went straight to the listing agent and made a deal, bought the property.
How'd you find out?
So I found out through, I think it was a lawyer friend of mine at the time, and he was like, oh, don't stand for that bullshit. Like, you need to show up and close it. Now, I was young, I didn't really have any training in the industry. Brokers at the time were all about like, go out, go figure it out, right? So we didn't have, it was 2008. You blink and you sold a house, right? So the lawyer was like, well, you need to show up at closing. And I did. I showed up at closing, and I'm like, hey, what's going on here? Now the shock in her face, and even the listing agent for the property, she was embarrassed. And I'm like, well, you're a crook. That's not the way you do business.
Did she sign anything with you or not?
She did not, and I probably, I think it was more of a matter of principle. I did end up getting paid.
You did or didn't?
I did.
Oh, wow.
Well, I took her to the property. I made the appointment, right? I took her there, and I spent 6 months wasting my gas and my time. But you know what? It upsets me to this day that I think about it. But look, at the end of the day, I've had great clients. I have great experiences, and it doesn't matter what you do. You're always going to end up having 1 or 2 that are not so great. But you move on from that because everybody else was awesome.
That story resonates with me because the same exact thing happened to me, and it actually wasn't that long ago.
Really?
So these things are still happening where I was working with a client for 6 months, except my offer was declined originally. She ended up going directly to the seller, and I find out from my lender later on that this was happening, and they were under contract and all this stuff. And I did put up a little bit of a fight, and then I ended up just letting it go because I said, you know what? I'm not going to put my time and energy into this. I'm going to put it into clients who do want to work with me and who are going to do the right thing.
Right.
And I'm also a believer, I don't really have buyers sign anything. I just think that if you provide a good service, people are going to want to work with you. I don't want people to work with me because they feel like they're obligated to.
Right, exactly.
But to each their own. So
yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily believe in that buyer's agreement, really. But for the most part, you're going to have people that crappy people, right? But mostly, most people I come across are good people, and they're fair and they're honest.
Exactly.
And there's a few that end up, we end up working with that are just really dirty people. So.
Oh, God. Yeah. Well, what is the moral of this story? What is one piece of advice that you would like to share with, maybe another agent that you wish you would have known when you first started?
Yeah, I mean, so here's the thing. Going back, if I'd done anything differently, would it not have happened? Chances are it probably would have still happened, right? So it was nothing that I did that made her do this, right? She just figured she was going to get a better deal going directly to the agent. So, it did bother me for a while because I was young, and I actually took it personally because I spent so much time and energy, right? And then I got to know them, and I was like, wow, they're really nice people, and I want the best for you.
And you worked hard for them.
Right, and you worked hard for them, right? But, like you said, you brush it off, you move on, and you focus on people that really enjoy working with you, right? You focus on people that respect you, your time, your efforts, and forget the ones that don't.
I agree, 100%. And this story will probably bother me forever too, but I'm glad that we have this in common. Now we're bonded for life. Yeah. We took the L and we kept going.
That's it.
But if our followers want to follow you on social media, if you want to go ahead and drop your handle.
Yeah, it's just Brian Kataya. So it's Kutayah. I'm pretty sure I'm the only one out there.
Awesome. So thank you so much for sharing.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Guys, thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I see you on the next one.